Good evening, everybody, and happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. I am so happy to be here on this Working Women Wednesday. What did I say? It is Working Woman Wednesday. And I am so excited about tonight's guest because I am not here to disappoint you, honey. But I just wanted to let everyone thank you for all those who subscribe to Tiffany Talks, because you know this is where real conversations are happening. Conversations about entrepreneurship this season on Tiffany Talks, finance, personal development, and how to just get to the next level. What can you expect from here? I really don't know, but I know there's something for everybody at Tiffany Talks on this platform, because I'm bringing the doctors, the lawyers, the financial advisors. You know, if you're an architect, if you're an investor, if you are a content creator, author, whatever you are, we welcome you here. But tonight's guest, let me introduce her without further ado. Get it right now. And guess what? Please like and share this video, because guess what? Sharing is caring. So share this video. I'm about to introduce her. So we have Miss Normanie Ricks. Miss Normanie Ricks is a decorated former officer of the United States Navy. Thank you for your service, ma'am. She has an authentic passion for cultivating long-term relationships based on a trust and value. She has spent her career serving the healthcare sector as a rehabilitation clinic manager and occupational therapy clinician. Beyond those titles, she served as an influence, dedicating her time as a mentor, volunteer, and patient advocate. Identifying a need for more community health programs, Normanie obtained a certification in nonprofit management from the University of California of Los Angeles, a master's degree in occupational therapy, and a bachelor's degree in health promotion from the University of Alabama at Birmingham, UAB. To date, her most notable career accomplishments are leading and managing operations of the Wounded Warrior Program at the United States Naval Hospital in San Diego. Also, along with her endeavors, Normanie is an advocate for children with disabilities, both in the United States and abroad. Traveling globally, she has serviced youth communities in Japan, Nicaragua, Honduras, and Zambia. She was recognized by the Red Cross for assistance in fundraising events that contributed to over $110,000 raised for humanitarian relief. As a global mentor, she continues to volunteer her time and knowledge to teaching occupational therapy to students attending various universities. I don't want to keep reading about her, and she's also an author, but I want her to tell her story tonight to you. Stay tuned, because now, bringing to my platform, I'm bringing Miss Normanie Riggs. Hi, Normanie. How are you?
Hey, how's it going? Thank you for inviting me on.
And you're welcome. Please just tell us a little bit about yourself, like where you're from. Who is Normanie Riggs?
Okay. I am what you call an army brat. I moved around a lot when I was younger. We finally settled in Georgia. And when I was in middle school, we moved to a town called Powder Springs, Georgia. So I say that I'm from Georgia. I grew up in Powder Springs, Georgia. So that's where I say I'm from. I was born in Alabama, and I actually had a full circle moment, ended up going to college in Alabama. So that was awesome. But I pride myself on being an occupational therapist for the past 14 years, and that's where I've had the most impact on others in my life.
Okay, well, you have an extensive history and a lot of recognition, and you've done a lot of things. Well, what does life, because I know you have kids and stuff. How does that look, raising kids and being this businesswoman? You just been everywhere. So how does that even look? Tell us how your journey has looked.
Well, I have one daughter. I have a
Okay.
13-year-old, and I always tell people she's always been very mature. She runs me. I don't run her. so,
Girls.
so she gives me business advice and life advice and everything else. So I've had a little partner in crime since she was born. So I've been lucky in that.
Wow, wow, wow. What even made you want to become an occupational therapist?
Um, when I was in high school, I ran track, and a lot of the girls on my track team were older than me. I was like the freshman on the varsity team. So they had to decide what colleges they were going to, what they were going to major in. And a lot of athletes end up going to college and majoring in exercise science because they want to do health or physical therapy or different things like that. So I heard one of my teammates say she was going to go to Ole Miss and major in physical therapy. So I was like, what's physical therapy? So I started
Mhm.
looking into it. And then, so I went in my undergrad doing exercise science. I took 21 credit units my freshman year, and I was a student athlete. So needless to say, I had to drop a lot of classes.
Mhm.
And then I ended up finishing in health promotion. And that was like a lot of prerequisites that I needed to go into physical therapy school. So it got to my internship my senior year, and
Mhm.
I went and interned at this place called Lakeshore Foundation. Lakeshore Foundation is a place in Birmingham where they train Paralympic athletes.
Mhm.
So I started working with people with adaptive sports, adaptive equipment, and that's where I learned about occupational therapy. So I had been applying to different physical therapy schools, but then I looked and saw that UAB had physical therapy and occupational therapy. So when I looked into occupational therapy, and I had already been doing adaptive sports and rehabilitation with people in my undergrad, I was like, this makes so much sense. I want to do occupational therapy. So I applied for the program, and I don't think 2 weeks went by. I got a call back in to do the interview, and I was sold.
Oh wow, wow. That what a journey. And I mean, you didn't just stop there. And then how did the Navy come to play into your plan? Because I'm like, okay, you're just full of surprises.
Right. So once again, internship kind of led me there. When I was doing my internship for occupational therapy school, I ended up getting hired by the company that I interned with. So they hired me as a home health clinician. I wanted to do outpatient therapy and deal with like orthopedic injuries, amputations, and stuff like that. So I was just like, okay, well, can I do that? And they were like, no, you can do home health. I was like, okay, I guess it's a job. So I did that for about 9 months. And then I was like, okay, I'm bored. What else can I do?
Mhm.
So my godmother, she was a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force, and she was a nurse for 30 something years. So she was like, why don't you look into the military? And I was like, the military? Why? I'm an occupational therapist. And she was like, the military has medical careers and they'll pay off your student loans. I was like, what?
Right.
So I tried to get into the Air Force, and they're like, well, we're not taking any more occupational therapists. Try the Navy. And I was like, okay. So I reached out to the Navy, and they had every single occupational therapist. It was like 35 occupational therapists in the Navy at that time emailing me. Every day I would get an email from the Navy OT. So I was
Wow.
just like, okay, y'all are kind of stalkers, so I might as well join. So I ended up
Wow.
with a Navy OT, and it was awesome.
Is it safe to say like just making one choice leads you to so many other choices?
That
Like
is
it open
so
up your options.
right, right,
All
right.
right.
And like I feel like everything in my life that's been for me has just happened so fast. Like I couldn't even stop the train. So
Mm.
no second guessing.
So what motivates you to like keep doing all these great and awesome things?
I think my passion for helping people succeed, I guess. So, for example, you get a lot of gratification when people let's say that someone got in a car accident and they can't walk, or can't talk, or they can't drive, and then you go in as a therapist and you help them be able to do all those things again. That's an
Mm-hmm.
impact that you're going to have on somebody for the rest of their life. They're going to remember you for the rest of their life.
Right.
So it's very gratifying to be able to help people get back to their day-to-day life and be happy again.
I definitely can feel why you picked that, that major, that career field, that industry, because it seems like you're very passionate about it. And, tell us about your book. What is your book? Tell us about your book.
So, when I was in the Navy and I was stationed in San Diego, we did a lot with the Wounded Warrior program. And with that, I did a lot of neuro rehab, orthopedic rehab, amputation rehab. But I was put on the traumatic brain injury team. I was put on the vision therapy team. So I learned a lot about traumatic brain injury and how it affects vision. So I always took that with me when I was rehabbing people. Like, okay, let's check to see if they can navigate curves. Are they going to go to the grocery store and trip over a curb and fall, and be worse off than they already were. So
Mm-hmm.
we were taught to like assess the whole person, including vision. So when I started working in neuro rehab and I opened my own clinic, I developed a passion for helping people with vision issues.
Mm-hmm.
So I was seeing that a lot of the vision issues were being overlooked, especially in children. So I became very passionate about helping children with visual perceptual issues. So, and I just knew that a lot of people didn't know what to do. So I spoke with a lot of what they call vision teachers in school, and they're like, oh, we have OTs and we have vision teachers, but we don't know how to do what you were trained to do in the Navy and by the optometrist. So I was just like, okay. So the more I talked to people, the more I was like, I'm going to write a manual. So I wrote a manual. It's called the Vision Therapy Manual, and it's for teachers, it's for parents that have kids with visual perceptual issues.
That is so awesome. That's so awesome. That is. But I do have a question. When you say children with vision um, issues or disabilities, what are some early signs that you can tell parents advice out here for those that are watching? Because a lot of times, sometimes, it might not be because your child doesn't want to listen to the teacher or they just have bad grades. It could be hearing issues. It could be vision. It could be a lot of different things that go out to play. But in your sector of your expertise, what do you see the most common thing that parents can look out with vision that are connected to learning problems?
So, the number one thing is the parent will say, now this kid is super smart. Why are they getting bad grades?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the number one red flag. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, if you tell your child what's 552 times 12 and they can tell you the answer right off the bat, but they can't write it down and tell you, you're like, something's not right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, for example, if a child has a reading assignment, and you go back and ask them, what did you just read? And they can't tell you, you're like, something's a little off. So a lot of times, like probably starting like third, fourth, fifth grade, they start having reading comprehension tests.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when you start noticing, okay, like you read this book, why are you clicking all the wrong answers? Um, so another thing that is a telltale sign is like children will have really, really, really bad handwriting.
Mm-hmm.
So we call it, so there's all the disses: dyslexia, dyspraxia, dysgraphia. Those are like the technical terms for these things. So everybody kind of knows what dyslexia is in this day and age, but a lot of people don't know what dysgraphia is, they don't know what dyspraxia is, and they don't know what like all the different visual perceptual issues that a child can have that go along with it, and they just kind of label it learning disability.
Wow. That's a
Hmm.
lot of information. And also at the end of this, guys, I'm gonna post her information because she's definitely a resource to learn what are some of these disabilities, because you've definitely, I've learned new things, new terms, that I would look up, and because the more knowledge is power. We all don't know everything, but we all know something, right? And it
Right.
brings a tree. So what else would you have to say to anybody that's probably looking to go into this major? Do you need more people in this field? Is it, a high need? What advice do you give?
Most definitely. The number one thing they told us as soon as we stepped through the classroom doors in the OT program is you're going to be an advocate for occupational therapy for the rest of your life. And the reason is because everybody knows what physical therapy is, but nobody knows what occupational therapy is unless they have to get occupational therapy or their family member has to get occupational therapy. And I always say, if you don't know what occupational therapy is, that's a great thing because that means you haven't been through anything traumatic. So if you've been through
Mm.
something traumatic or one of your family members have been through something traumatic, you know what occupational therapy is because you're going to have an occupational therapist come to your house or you're going to work with them at the hospital or in an outpatient clinic. But we definitely need more OTs. And the reason why is just because of what I said. A lot of people don't even know about the profession. So I try to make it my business to mentor people, to tell them about occupational therapy. I have a couple of relationships with the universities across the nation that have OT programs. I tell them, send me students. I definitely want to put it out there that I'm open and like accepting anybody that needs a mentor.
Awesome, Normie. Well, we thank you for coming and blessing my platform and educating us and sharing your knowledge and your expertise on occupational therapy. I definitely was enlightened on some new things that I did not know, and I'm pretty sure a lot of our audience, there's stuff they didn't know. And I thank you. Any last comments before we wrap this section of real conversations with you, ma'am?
Well, I just want to say something that had a big impact on me. I had a seventh grade teacher that was my favorite teacher ever. She was like advanced language arts teacher. And she told us a quote by Dr. Eleanor Roosevelt: no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. And I'm just taking that with
Mm.
me every step of my life. It's just like no matter if somebody says something negative about you, somebody tries to bring you down, what do you think about yourself? If you think that you can do it, you can do it. So I just want to put that out there. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Queen, for coming on my platform. And you right, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Eleanor Roosevelt. I co-sign that. Thank you so much. Blessings on your business. May it prosper and be abundant. Please come back and visit me soon. And please put your information in the comment section. If you need more information, resources in Georgia, in the Georgia area, state of Georgia, this is the lady that you need to go ask about those resources, and she will point you into the right directions. Thank you so much. Have
All
a good
right.
evening. Thank you, Normanie. This has been another Tiffany Talks, where real conversations are happening each and every day. Don't you forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, share it with someone, because you never know who you can inspire. We all can make a difference in this world, and I'm bringing those people to this platform. Next week, Monday, we have somebody coming, another special guest next Wednesday. We're going to keep it rolling all season 3. We have some heavy hitters this season, and don't you miss it. Remember to set that notification bells and set those reminders, and do not miss next week. And don't forget, this is where real conversations are happening, and you are absolutely a part of the conversation. This has been your girl, Tiffany S. Carter, and this has been another Tiffany Talks. Have a good evening.